live from the Smoky Mountains, and I say Smoky Mountains, but being a former
Oh,
Coloradoan, I like this song. We should play it again. Play it again.
it's playing somewhere on my computer.
It's an awesome song. Whoever wrote that song from, hey,
Whoa.
this is us playing back,
and I say Smoky
Okay.
Mountains,
same thing.
but being a
There it went. I don't know where in the world that was playing. I had one of our live streams up
You know
on
what's
my
fun? I
computer.
never listened to the show. That was a good way for me to listen to what we actually are doing.
There you go.
Are we?
Let's look at the positive spin now. So we're
always.
good.
Tonight's positive night. It's Rainbow and Skittles.
Rainbow and Skittles tonight.
So I was able to listen to our podcast just now,
You're right.
and we haven't
Right.
even finished it yet.
You're right. We haven't even finished.
That's an oddity. So I was going to say the Smoky Mountains, but right now, like where we lived out in Colorado is literally like we would have had to evacuate. The West, I don't know if you paid attention, but the West is kind of a mess right now.
I haven't paid a whole lot of attention.
Nobody's talking about it, but these fires are starting to pop up, pretty bad because of climate change. Of course, it's
Oh yeah, it's always
it's
because of-
climate change.
It's not PG&E, not reg. Is it? You said it's the wildfires.
Yeah,
It's not PG&E, not reg. And California not regulate PG&E with their subpar equipment. And,
right.
And
Yeah.
California not regulating
This is
their
just flat out.
underbrush. Yeah.
This is just flat out wildfires.
Right,
that
right.
are, because of dryness.
Right.
So you can say, oh, the spark caused that, whatever. No, what causes that is climate change. I think. I mean, you can't deny it.
It's PG&E, man.
So, yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
California was what is it? So they're supposed to take care of the underbrush and all that stuff.
yeah.
They cut a
They-
bunch of it out of the
yeah,
budget.
It's
Gavin Newsom does such a great job out there.
he does. You know what they need back in California is Kamala because she'll fix it.
Yeah, that's right.
She'll fix it. All the people that did an extra couple years sentencing because of her, so that she had forced labor,
Right?
they would clean that up.
Isn't that messed up?
They would clean that up.
Yeah.
It is very messed up. So, but hey, we are glad you're tuning in tonight. Tonight we are going to take a little bit of a different spin. The news is just full of, it's just a debacle. And so tonight, last week we closed out last week playing a snippet of Joe Biden passing gas and his resignation speech. And we left here laughing, and I thought, let's just do that. So for the next hour, we're going to play Joe Biden passing gas clips.
I don't have any of those.
Okay.
You played the one. I still haven't pulled that out of that last video. I need to do that.
Yeah, you do, because I'll tell you what, and you know what, if you're listening tonight, the 15 people that are listening live, do you agree that that would actually make thousands of people would play that?
Oh yeah.
Joe Biden passing gas.
I don't know how are you?
Nobody else. Well,
The one guy that
listen,
caught that.
it's a trained
I mean-
ear. I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old,
Right.
and I listen for that because I need to know when to leave.
Right.
And when my 6-year-old has a moment, it's all the windows down, head out. I mean,
Clear a room, huh?
oh, that kid can clear a room.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We've laid hands on him and prayed for him. I mean, it's it just depends on what he eats, I guess. I don't know, but he takes after his mother. That's what I like to say.
Is that what it is?
Like,
Oh,
She
you're
does-
gonna be in trouble if she watches.
she
it,
doesn't
right?
listen.
She doesn't. Okay.
No, we're good.
All right.
So, anyway, tonight we wanted to do something a little different because these are funny times that we live in, as well as serious. They're funny times. I mean, Kamala is going to be the presidential nominee. That's funny. So we can start there. That's humorous.
That is humorous. Oh, the
and
cackle, man.
humorous to her too,
Right.
constantly, right?
Right.
So we're just going to have a night of fun. And hopefully, I was thinking about this week of having a very loose format where we just talk and you get to know us. Because, we're sitting here. I was thinking about this. Nobody, they know that you were in the military and,
Yeah.
and are still, kind of.
Sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so,
I'm got 1 foot out the door. but
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime they need somebody assassinated, they call you.
Oh gosh. don't say that.
I'm kidding.
No, I
No.
wasn't. I wasn't that kind of a. Anyway.
But at any rate, like they know very little about us.
Yeah.
And they also have no idea how ridiculous things are when we're not talking to them. Like when this stuff is all shut off and we
Yeah.
just hang out, they they have no idea what that guy is like, what this guy is like. So, all seriousness, sarcasm aside, this will probably be the best episode that we've ever had.
All right, that's what I'm hoping. We try to make everyone the best episode we've ever had.
Yeah,
That's
so-
the goal.
All that being said, Jared has a highlight reel that he's going to start us with, and we are just going to
Do you want me to start with the Olympic stuff?
Absolutely.
We can talk about that one.
that we could talk about forever.
Yeah, we could talk. So we'll hit on that one real quick because I know that I put that one up in the
Yeah, this is
the main
fantastic.
window.
First of all, let's just take a look at this, okay? Number one, it looks like if this is an interpretation of the Last Supper, right?
Right.
Jesus just finished a pork sandwich.
And the,
Or
the funny
three.
the
I-
funny
like-
meme on the internet is that person in the middle. They were like, "Why? I don't understand why everybody's offended. This is obviously not going to be her Last Supper."
Right, right. She'll have more.
Oh,
And of course,
man.
they're serving her a Smurf,
right.
a Sasquatchian Smurf. Like it's half Sasquatch, half Smurf. That makes no sense.
No.
So, what are Christians all in up in arms about? I mean, this makes no sense from the top.
Now, when they
To the
compare it,
bottom.
right? But when they compare it to the image, like the images of the Last Supper, and it's not just Leonardo da Vinci's. It was da Vinci's, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. But it's all the other representations of the Last Supper. You can see that thing in the middle. That's how they in the old tapestries
Yeah,
and things.
yeah, they would do that, like the
behind
halo.
Christ, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's. And
But
so
I mean,
it was,
he doesn't have at the Last Supper. He didn't have 17 disciples, and clearly there's
right.
a gaggle. So
Right.
this says to me, just we're just all included, bearded ladies, and
Well,
it's a circus, is what
It is, but the person who was one of the main characters in behind this
Yes,
posted it themselves. Like they were the ones who said, "Here, come see,
read this
see
and
what
they-
we were going for."
I read that, and then the Olympic Committee tried to distance themselves
Yeah.
from all that. And
Yeah.
so first of all, kudos for trying to incorporate Christ into the opening ceremonies. Number
Right,
one, right?
right.
I mean, okay, he is he.
Gosh, it's
But-
so. Here's my. I'm going to say beef with it because I know we're going pretty funny tonight. But one of the points I had about this is you can only do this. Like it's very fashionable to do this to Christians
Mhm.
because it's almost like they try to goad us into
An argument.
well, not even just an argument, but like, okay, come on, do something about it. What you going to do about it? Because there's other or other ideologies out there that if you were to do something similar, mocking them, wouldn't have the same response as.
What do you do?
Christians. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying? Like if you were
I-
saying this about Muslims, then you
right. Okay, let's
Right.
use that for example. What do you do there? Like from the Muslim thing.
Well,
what-
if you were to go and if they had a painter up here drawing Muhammad or something. To
oh yeah,
that
because they're
effect.
not supposed to draw Muhammad.
Right,
Or like
right.
maybe somebody having sex
Yeah,
with
'cause
a
you-
child. That would be
Right.
like Muhammad. So
Oh, right.
those
right.
are the things. Okay, I get what you're
So,
saying, but
so you could mock them. You could mock them, but they
Terrible.
take shots at. And I've heard so many people talk about it, and they're like, I don't, like, look, I just turned it off. It's the easiest thing to do. It's the first thing I is
Number
like,
one.
"Oh, I'm not watching the Olympics.
turn it off. Number two, if we were as passionate as Christians about sharing the love of Christ and proclaiming his name and what he's done for us as we were about boycotting things that disagreed with us, we might get something done. Drag racing. That's fantastic.
I got this from some meme channel.
Yeah,
thought
I can
that-
tell you right now who's going to lose the race, though. The one with the halo. She ain't winning. That.
Oh no, not that one.
Unless you
But,
throw a sandwich at the finish line,
Right.
it should be right there. But yeah,
Oh
so
man.
the whole Christian community just has an absolute conniption about this. Number one, my position on it is this is Paris. Let's start there. This
Yeah.
is a city that is so upside down and backwards, and it's really actually not even. It's not even European anymore, right? It's not. It's like
I actually had pulled up one the immigration. It not just in Paris, but in a lot of European countries. I think it was Amsterdam or one of them.
Yeah.
They're now outnumbered. Immigrants now
Yeah,
outnumber them.
that's-
So they said we're not even like people that are ethnically whatever.
Yeah, there is.
Wherever I forget what the country.
Here's what's happening.
Belgium.
There is no such thing as diversity, and this is what's going to happen here too, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
the philosophy is to breed more than we are, which they are,
Yeah.
and so there won't be diversity. There'll just be, Sharia. Sharia doesn't care about diversity, right?
Right.
So all Sharia cares about is Sharia. So, and that's not funny. And I'm sorry that I brought that up. But yeah, the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. But did you see Celine Dion?
I watched some of it. Yeah.
Let me tell you,
I-
there was a point in that where it's almost like I could feel in her by watching that she recognized that this was probably her last performance. There was a moment where she's looking out from the Eiffel Tower over a sea of people, and I think it dawned on her what's left of her because she's fighting a debilitating mental
Right.
thing,
Right.
right? That this is it,
Yeah.
and it was like this.
There was that emotion in it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
I don't know how she kept it together.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch it again because that's what people were saying online, and I absorb too much. I say too much. I talk about politics all the time, and
Right.
so I have to absorb a lot of it.
Right.
But you got to get some of the happier stuff,
Yeah, and that for me
and so
was
that's a good
I
thing
watched
to
that
listen
and went wow, and I get it, man. The white horse of the apocalypse riding in, it was laced with so much spirituality and not even like
It wasn't. I don't think they meant to go for what. Oh, you'd know better. This I always forget. The pale horse is the one that.
Yeah.
is the one they were trying to reference. Revelation 6,
so when you
I think.
recognize those things as a spiritual a deal, it does take on a little bit more of a why. I mean, it's just like the NFL and
Right.
everything else. Why do you got to get that mixed up in this now?
Yeah. Well, it used to be that was our escape, right? Our escape was
Yeah.
sports. Our escape was the Olympics, and nobody was thinking politics. You're thinking national unity, and for
I mean, since the beginning of the Olympics,
Yeah.
it was an escape. It was a diversion
Yeah.
from all the
yeah. Well, and there's
stuff.
other people like South Korea and North Korea. There was a video out there of those athletes taking selfies together. It was so cool, but that's happened over time. When Israel and where was the lady from?
Turkey.
Not Israel. It was two. Who in the world was it? Two nations at war, either in the Middle East. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And they took a photo together. It was I think Miss Israel and somebody else. And they all the uproar and it's like no, that was a moment of unity.
And you think about that. You've got people that are the best at their craft.
Yeah.
This is next level. This isn't me.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, maybe the curling guys can get away with being a little bit paunchy, and stuff.
Right.
But for the most part, these people are the best in their nation at what they do.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a respect factor among those people to you know what I mean? There's got to be a mutual respect.
Yeah.
And if like we saw with Turkey and Israel, so the judo thing, the big first of all, judo I want to get this out of the way because it bothers me. Why isn't every martial arts an Olympic sport?
I don't know. I never thought about that.
I mean, they're all art. They're all phenomenal. So, but yeah, when Israel beat the Turkish judo lady,
Right.
she didn't shake her hand. She didn't honor her in any stretch. So it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
good. That served her right then for being that way.
Well, it's been because that's kind of the flip side of it, right? Is there's always been a diplomatic aspect to the Olympics. When you think about the Olympics being held in Germany, and Hitler expected all the athletes to come in and give their salute to him, and the Americans were like, absolutely not going to happen.
Right.
and then we proceeded to absolutely wipe the floor with them. That was a
Which we're not doing terrible, but
who
we're
was the
not.
runner then?
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
Oh, he laid waste to him.
Yeah. And talk
Great.
about, didn't he run barefoot?
Yeah. So there's a fascinating video. It was a TED talk, and this guy did sports science, and he was asking. He studied the question: are we getting stronger, faster, better? And so he compared all these athletes to one another. If y'all out there, by the way, if you want to see it, just do TED talk, sports science, something like that. And there's a guy with glasses, this nerdy looking guy. He gives the most fascinating talk about how if Jesse Owens was running now if he had run in Usain Bolt's record-setting race, he would have finished fourth because he took a set of took a gardening trowel to dig out ruts to put his feet in. They didn't have starting blocks. He was running on cinders, and that robbed like 30% of his speed. So all these things compiled, and he played this very interesting. It was an audio clip, and you hear all the beeps of all the runners crossing, and it's a fraction of a second.
Yeah, they're right there.
Right. And Jesse Owens, when he played it back with Jesse Owens actually in that lineup, he would have been fourth place if you accounted for all the bad technology. So it's not that we're necessarily getting stronger, faster, and better. It's that the technology is getting better. It was an amazing one. I could talk for an hour on that.
Huh.
But the bike
That does sound like something we could geek out on for a while. Because so you're saying if he were to run, was this like he had shoes and starting blocks and everything else,
Right.
he would have finished fourth?
Right. So if he was running on a modern track with cleats,
Got it. Okay.
and he had starting blocks,
But think
and-
about take
and all
this
those
out.
things.
What about the doping and
Well,
you know what I'm saying? The training and all
Sure.
the things that have changed. He would have beat Usain.
So here's the crazy part. There was a bike competition. It was a record that was set back then, and it was how far you could. I think it was how far you could bike in 24 straight hours.
Let me guess. I already know this.
Do you?
Yep. The immortal Lance Armstrong won that.
Nope.
Okay.
So what happened was we started using modern bikes for that same test, and I think it started in like maybe the 60s. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere around there.
Jared said in the 60s.
Maybe in the 50s. I don't know.
Okay. Don't quote him though.
And so they said they started just absolutely wasting this record, and they were like, "Wait a second, you got to use the same like bike, like same style bike. You have to have all these parameters. I'm guessing with gears and tires and all that stuff. If it's going to be a legit record, because you're just beating it with technology and aerodynamics, and so people had beat it by miles and miles and
Oh
miles.
geez, yeah. Not
They
even.
went, the guy who actually beat the record beat it by something like 800 yards.
Wow.
So it was old technology. A guy who was just training ridiculously hard, and even by modern standards, people were like, "Yeah, I can't do that." So there were several but it was talking about how we've started to pick athletes based on certain. It used to be what was the man? Is it Da Vinci's man? The
arms out.
span, same as the height, and
yeah.
all those things. We used to think that was the perfect athlete, but now when you look at the guy from Kenya who was not the one that set the not Eliud Kipchoge, but either way, they compared him to Michael Phelps. This distance runner, compared him to Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps wears the same length pants as the Kenyan runner. The Kenyan runner was like 5'9", and Michael Phelps is like 6'4", because swimmers are better when they have longer torso and shorter lower body. The runners are more effective when they have a longer lower body and a shorter torso, because it limits the amount of weight that's being carried. You can have a longer gait even though you're shorter.
So Da Vinci's man is just.
Oh yeah, well, it was bad, and we used that standard for a really long time.
Yeah.
But it's not the basketball players, right? So now, if you know somebody who is over 7 feet tall, it's something like there's a 30% chance that they're playing in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
But it's not just their height; it's that their arms are
Their
much
wingspan,
longer. Right.
yeah.
So their wingspans are actually longer than their height. They blow the whole
Right.
Da Vinci's man model out of the water. It was unbelievably.
And they're partially because of the Nephilim. So
Is that what it is?
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. You know what I do know though
What's that?
is that Kamala is our unselected presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. So
I got a meme for that.
good. That is fantastic.
I got a meme
When you
for that.
order Hillary Clinton from Timu, you get Kamala. Did I read somewhere that this is the first election in like 20 years that a Bush or a Clinton isn't involved in
Yes.
somehow?
Yeah. That they're not running. Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
outstanding.
That's
That's
crazy
outstanding.
though.
Yeah,
Well, but that's political
because
dynasty.
we've had Jeb. We've had Jeb
Yep.
in the background for so long. He's like a broken record. I'm going to run again. I'm going to run again. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
You know, Jeb's the kid. I'm 100% certain in elementary school that had the Kool-Aid mustache and bad bo. That's kind of what the vibe I get from a Jeb Bush.
If Jeb Bush was a normal person, this dates me, but he would be the guy going to school in like the J.C. Penney's jeans when everybody else was wearing Levi's. You know
Right,
what
right,
I mean?
right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what
He
you
would
mean.
have the Pro Keds or whatever it was instead of the Nike. He would have the, like, or how about this? This really dates me. Do you remember the shoes that had the zipper on the side? They were called Roos,
Yeah,
Kangaroos,
yeah.
and they had a zipper that you could store roughly a thimble in, or maybe a nickel, or
Mm-hmm.
it was a zipper on the side, and they were Roos because it had a pouch that you could store things that were completely useless in, like a pebble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was an '80s kid, so I feel like there was something similar to that. If it wasn't Ruse,
Yeah.
even
Oh,
then.
by
but
by the
we had the
80s.
pumps, man. We were pumps.
Yes,
That
I
was our
remember
jam.
those. In the back,
Oh,
you pump
dude.
them up, and then they deflate. And
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
gosh,
Well,
those
yeah.
are good
I don't know.
times. Those were good times.
Well-
But yeah, so Jeb was that guy.
Yeah.
You know, he was if he wasn't a Bush, if he was normal, let's say his last name was like, McCracken, he would be Jeb McCracken, Kool-Aid mustache, plain pockets, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but
But you do get picked on a little.
right,
And his older brother, though, he was the football star.
right,
Jeb gets his lunch stolen.
right.
So, and there's one in every family.
Yeah, there is.
So
There is.
anyway, yeah, Kamala on Temu. That's fantastic. Have you ever ordered anything from Temu?
I haven't. I started hearing all the warnings about Temu. People were saying they were getting scammed. I got scammed out of a pair of shoes on an Instagram ad, and after that, I'm very cautious about what I buy.
Yeah. How about the Milwaukee tool sales on Instagram? I get those all the time. Like, oh, you can get it. Milwaukee is closing out all these tools. You can get 900 tools for $30, and I'm like, that's a bargain,
Right?
right? But
No.
I've never ordered from it because it's too good of a bargain. And I've learned that other than Jesus, if it seems like it's too good of a bargain, you probably don't want to take it.
Yeah.
Jesus is the only bargain that you go, hey, that's really easy and
Right.
inexpensive.
Right.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. And you win. I mean, it's a win. But here's what's great about Temu. So when you order something from Temu, and y'all can agree with me or disagree, but it seems like I ordered something from Temu and I haven't for a very long time. One of the big reasons is because Temu, the ads for Temu are like, you'll have, tool belts on their, they have like weekly deals that are like killer. Like
Yeah.
order now and you get this for $1.99 and it's, an inflatable pool for your entire family. Like it's huge. Or a refrigerator, for the garage, whatever, for $6. So they have all these last minute deals. But there's no filter on that last minute deal. And so you get these like pictures of items, and a lot of times those items are, women's clothing goods that are probably not okay for a married man to look at. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
it's like looking at the Victoria's Secret catalog, right? I can't like that's not okay to me. So anyway, I quit with the Temu thing. Here's what happens though. They are relentless. And they will
With their
find
ads you're talking about?
they will find a way like what their email, that they spam you with email.
Oh yeah.
And it's like some of them I just can't. It's like, listen, Jeremy, if you just log in, you'll get 2,000% back on any item. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait a minute. So if I spend $1, I get 2,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a
Yeah.
no-brainer to me. But it doesn't work that way.
No. That's a quick place to get. I've heard that's just a quick place to get ripped off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but
It's not. It is what I like to call inferior products.
yeah. It's
Straight.
kind of like Alibaba, right? There was some guys online that were
Yes.
saying they had this whole scheme, and there's probably still people doing it, where you run a drop ship company and you list a product, you don't buy it until you've pre-sold, and you say delivery times are longer, but you're getting this very cheap price, and they're buying it from Alibaba and getting it shipped to them, or getting it shipped straight from Alibaba, having them drop ship it
to you.
to other people.
Yeah.
They don't touch the product, and they're selling you something for $25 that they're paying $1.50 for
Right.
on Alibaba.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. Get rich quick, I guess. I mean, there's some people that run whole businesses like that.
I was just getting ready to say, if you're
I feel
listening,
like I'm ripping people off.
if you're listening, this is a great business plan for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Instead of calling it
Go for
Temu,
it.
call it Timo.
Timo, yeah.
What else do we got? Good.
So-
first of all, good news this week, right?
Yeah.
There's some great news. Number one, you can save a bunch of money on your car insurance by switching to Geico. It's great news.
Yeah.
Number two, Jesus is coming.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Now more than ever. So, okay, go ahead. Next.
Okay. No. Well, this is going back to the Olympic debacle.
Yeah, the
but
Smurf, Sasquatch Smurf.
this is kind of the setup for what I was thinking about. That this is this looks we say this is Paris, this is France, and all their silliness. We actually got a comment from I don't know who this DAR voter said. Don't buy products from the sponsors Coca-Cola, Visa, and others, and don't vacation in France.
Yeah.
That's what he
Agreed.
said. Agreed.
Yeah.
But this is similar to what we're seeing here in America, right? And it brings up the topic of the masculinity crisis. We've touched on this quite a bit over the years, that there's a serious, pretty serious masculinity crisis in general around America. But there's still some dads out there doing the right thing with their kids.
Yeah.
And folks might have seen this kid before, but there's a couple of videos that I want to show, and they're absolutely hilarious, but they kind of make me, I don't know,
I feel like I know that kid.
hopeful about the future.
Yeah.
But listen to this one.
Man of the hour.
Yep.
So nice to finally meet you.
Yep. Come to the state of Indiana.
Oh, I already see some deer over there.
We're all John Deere around here, but everything's down the shop. So
Wow.
I own that one, that one, that one.
You gotta be the luckiest kid in Indiana.
You can choose. Which one do you want to start on?
Well, which one's your favorite? That might be a dumb question. I think you know everything about all of them.
So this is a 1970 John Deere 112.
And you're the one that bought it, right? Back then?
Yep, $35 for the
Oh
turn.
my gosh.
I call this tractor the best $35 I ever spent. Tires ain't cheap anymore. Like nothing's cheap anymore. Not even water's free, which is
I love this kid.
you may as well go back and get it in the back creek. So I like a clean property, and I like seeing it clean, and I like a mowed yard. So that's kind of I like having a mowed yard, weed whacked, nice landscaping, and a nice tractor. And with this tractor, you got to sometimes, just to get the lights to go, you sometimes have to bang the front light,
Okay.
light cover to get it to go.
You know, percussive maintenance, I think that's something that I can do.
This kid is already married.
you
You know, because here's the thing: how many women? He is not. He has already probably had women like, "Hey, in 10 years, call me."
Right. He's a young, like he is growing up. Right. He's talking about mowing his own yard. And this was that's what I always figured that I would be as a kid. My dad sold farm machinery. And so I grew up, I learned how to drive a tractor before I learned how to drive anything else. But we're sitting there putting around the property or around his business or on other people's farms. And I'm so short that I have to slide out of the seat to push the clutch in,
Yeah.
But it just, you see kids that are raised like that, like hard work. He saved his money. He bought some stuff up.
Best $35 he ever spent.
I'll say it's the best $35 I ever spent.
And I love that Indiana accent.
Oh yeah,
Windiana, as he called it.
He called it, Windiana. Yeah. I was like, man, those are the kids that aren't getting a lot of attention on social media. The weird stuff going on, but there's still some parents out there that are doing it. They're doing it
and
right.
here's the other thing: those parents probably aren't letting him on social media much,
Right.
and because the world isn't going to define you. And that's probably the message they're telling him.
Yeah.
The world doesn't define you. You define you.
Yeah.
And, and he knows what he wants at that age. What do you
Yeah.
think he's 10?
Yeah,
I
probably.
know what I want. I like a clean yard. I like an organized yard and go down back creek and get water. And all right.
It led me down a rabbit hole. He was doing some other videos where he was at these heavy machinery, shows. And, they'll do them in, I don't know where they were in this one. I'm assuming is out at the convention center in Vegas. It was a monstrous place. And they had, combines, monstrous combines. How many bushels will that thing do? He's like, oh, that's a little more than, he just knows the stuff.
He just knows.
He's been around that culture.
Yeah.
And the work ethic. Like, that's a good thing. But, he picked that up from somewhere. And I'm willing to bet that he picked that up from his dad.
Yeah. And grandpa.
Or his
grandpa and
grandpa,
dad.
somebody.
Yeah. Or, his mom probably plays a part in it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because, there's a part of it that's like, you look at these boys. We're running late tonight because I had football practice for my sons.
Right.
I went a little late, and it's tackle.
Right.
They got the pads on. They look totally tough. And of course, it's not enough to just be good at it. They got to look good.
Yeah.
In this day and age, listen, I want this sleeve because so-and-so wears a sleeve. And I'm like, okay, so we go to sleeve. I got a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old. We go to Dick's to look for sleeves, right? For kids. They put them on, and it's like, I might as well cut off one of my T-shirt sleeves and give them to my 6-year-old and be like, here, nothing fits him.
Right.
And I love it. They put it on, and he's like, look, Dad, this fits great. And I'm like, buddy,
No, it doesn't.
no, it doesn't. You might as well be putting my pants on. Like, you can't wear that. And so anyway, so we were a little late, but I'm looking at these teams. I'm looking at these kids, and every one of them, number one, which is so great. Most of the time, there's a lot of male involvement in that.
Yeah.
And, the guys were really upfront with us, their coaches. And they said, listen, we're going to be really hard on your kid.
Yeah.
If he's talking while I'm talking, he's doing laps. He's running. If he's, and so I'll tell you, night one of practice, they get in the car and they're like, Dad, thank you so much for bringing us to practice tonight. And my initial thought was like, wow, you guys are welcome. Thanks for recognizing the sacrifice. And then it dawned on me, who told you to say that?
Yeah.
You didn't come up with that on your own.
Right.
Coach told us we have to thank you. Coach told us we have to thank Mom.
Wow.
Coach told it,
Yeah.
So it's like, and every night we get in the van and it's, thanks Dad, thanks Mom for bringing us to practice. Thanks for signing us up. And it's those values that are being instilled by men to the boys, especially, and I'm not knocking ladies by any stretch of the imagination, but there's something about that male influence, especially in a coaching role. And for those of you that are involved in sports and coaches, you are so important to the shaping of these young men and young women, where you're able to take them into a place where you just want them to be better. They know that. They'll receive your correction, which is astounding because every parent needs that kind of help, Well,
but it's, the men, we talked about this in a few episodes ago, that it's not they like to use the term toxic masculinity, right? Well, it's not toxic masculinity. 75% of teachers are women. Half of the marriages in the country are women.
Yeah, single
moms. And so it's not it's a
the
lack
opposite.
it's a lack of masculinity, not
What makes
much of
masculinity toxic is the fact that it doesn't exist anymore.
right.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
We got to call it something, because for a man to try to be the head of his family, to lead his kids, to provide, to do all the things that men were created to do inside of us. I don't understand how I know there are people with mental illness, and there's, I get this in the homeless population.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are sick that need help, that need a handout, that need things. That's legitimate.
Yeah.
But then there's the 25-year-old guy who's spent $2,000 on tattoos,
Yeah.
and he's standing there like, need help, God bless. And it's like, get a job.
Yeah.
How can you stand it? How can you not want to be the one that provides for your family?
Well, that's been the track record for men. I mean, even society now, men are vilified, and since feminism and all that, and it's kind of, that the way the family court system runs. There's a whole lot of things you get into with all that.
absolutely.
But if you took men out of the equation today, our society stops functioning. Like 100%. Who are the people that are fixing the roads? Who are the people that are keep the power running,
Sure.
the water running, the
Labor.
society running?
Labor.
It's right.
We're
Right.
the labor force.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what? I'll be the first to admit, I might not be the brains force, but I can work with my hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that God, when he cursed Adam, you're going to work with your hands. And look at what we've done with our hands. And it's part of the curse, part of the blessing. Look
Yeah.
at what we've been able to create with our hands. So at any rate, yeah, you look at that kid, he's had a strong male influence in his life.
I just realized you said you were talking about the coach, and I pulled
Yeah.
up this video. You ever seen this coach before?
No. He's a quote machine. Let's go for it.
What machine?
Our football team was like the kid that plays second French horn in the school band. We got to play better. You know, and that's a double-edged sword. You know, it's kind of like watching your mother-in-law go off a cliff in a Cadillac. You know, you got mixed feelings. He's like that black lab on the first day of pheasant hunting season. He was pulling at the chain. We're kind of like a woodpecker in a petrified forest. You know, just keep busy and look for opportunities. I wanted to raise my kids using a depth chart. Can you imagine that? I wanted that. Pam Green vetoed that idea. I got a short memory, just like when I was in the 3rd grade. 2 of the best years of my life. His attitude's positive. He thinks he could take on hell with a squirt gun. Everybody expects you to win. My wife couldn't go to church with me on Sunday, and everybody said, "Where is she?" I said, "She doesn't go out with losers." I had a 6 ACT in 1967. One time I got an A, and my grandma beat me for cheating.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
There's so many in there that I
oh
want to
my
just take
gosh!
off.
That guy, he's like a lot of the guys that my dad knew.
It is.
You know, just the old country sayings.
He is
you
a
know, those
walking
guys.
dad joke.
Yeah, he is.
It's fantastic.
Like a woodpecker in a petrified forest. Just gotta keep,
Look for,
keep
look for
going
the
and look for
opportunity.
opportunity.
So good.
Oh man, that was great. That was a good one. But no, we were talking about fathers, and I'm just a meme machine tonight.
I love it.
I pulled out a bunch of them. But you know, dads. This is something that I have. My dad's getting older, you know. So as I look back on it, I keep thinking about all the great things that I got to do with him, and like bonding experiences. This was a funny video about that, but it was something along those same lines.
One day we'll have us a boat and some land, and we won't have to do all this here, what we call it, Cash? You're supposed to say pond topping.
On topic.
Trespassing.
You see his smile.
Oh my
You
goodness!
see
Yeah.
his smile. So good.
Oh, but no, that's. I mean, it's something that is really the future of our country is in repairing our masculinity problem, and that's a father son type relationship
Absolutely.
that's going to fix that. It's going to be a faith thing inside of because it's got to be inside of a faith based family.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the typical roles that a man is supposed to play in the house and the
Well, I
woman
mean,
plays in
but
the
to
house.
some extent, yes, it's got to be a faith thing, but really, it also doesn't, because instilled in all of us is God's law,
Sure,
right?
right.
And
I
as
mean,
long
yeah,
as long as the guy has got the moral compass correct, right? As long as he's, listen, I'm gonna be faithful to this woman because I made a commitment. That's what men do.
right.
It's not easy, but I'm not gonna go out on her.
Yeah.
Because I made a commitment to her. I'm sticking to it. You don't have to be a believer to do that.
Right. No, you don't.
You just have to have your moral compass straight. I'm not going to take this money when the cash drawer is open because it's not mine,
Right.
right? Those are simple things that are in the moral fiber of every man because God spoke it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're that guy, and let's say you don't have kids, there's tons of kids that need a father, a surrogate father, so to speak,
Sure.
right? I mean, coaches do that in a masterful level. 15, 20 kids, they're that presence in their life that's speaking truth to them, that they're better than what they are, elevating them to the next level, pushing them to the next level, and sometimes it's painful, but they're also there to pick them up when they fall down.
Yeah.
So coaching is a great, I coached last year. I coached flag football for Upward for the 5-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't really coaching at all. It's herding cats.
Right.
But I did get them going the right way towards the end zone. We did. I gave them the dumbest nicknames ever, like Bear Paw and like horrible nicknames. Just whatever came out of my mouth was who they were. But I love those kids, and we won every game. We played the same team every week, but we won every game.
Was this
And
a team? Did you keep score? Because a lot of them aren't keeping score anymore.
they did they did and they didn't. You know, it was like after the
The
first
parents were all there with their scratch pads.
yeah,
Like,
well, but it was more like after the first game, it became abundantly clear that we weren't going to lose, and so they kind of went, okay, just we're going to have the mercy rule for the first game, and we quit scoring, and then the rest of them were kind of like, don't bother scoring. Um, but that's because I'm such a good coach, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a great father, and so I'm kidding when I say that, sarcasm. But
no, you are.
It
Your
is-
boys are good.
it is really important, though, for men, for fathers to instill in their sons. Number one, you can do all the things I never could.
Yeah.
Like, you've got this. And what I mean by that is like you not I wasn't allowed to watch rated R movies till I was 18, but you can. Not that kind of you can do all the things I never could, but like I want better for my boys than I have.
Mm,
You know? And I think every father wants that.
sure.
And so it's our job to try to push them to that next that level. Whether it's your boys or your girls, I mean, really, either way, it's not going to come to you easy. There is no such thing as, a medal for last place
Right.
in life. And I don't, society has done a great job of trying to capitalize on feelings versus reality.
We're a participation trophy
Absolutely.
society, and that's yeah, not to our benefit, but definitely to our detriment.
Yeah, I think a lot of problems started when we started handing out trophies for last place.
Agreed.
You got to earn it. And if you're not willing to earn it, that's where a sense of entitlement comes in. Wait, where's my trophy? I played all season. I should get a trophy. No, you lost all season
Right.
and you didn't try. When you're not giving it your all, you're not going to be successful. But we've somehow got it to a place where, we'll go ahead and give you the job because you're,
You check some
you check a box.
some arbitrary box.
Yeah.
I'm entitled to this. This has hurt us in a lot of ways. I mean, this was I won't get deep into the story, but Army recruiting is at an all-time low, and they're trying to pay movie stars to bring people in because we've got obese, lazy, entitled kids, and like the ones we've shown tonight. Those are the exceptions. Those are the ones that are Dana White said it. He said, if you've got kids, if those kids will learn how to put in a maximum effort, they will learn what it is to, give them a good work ethic and send them out in the world to go pursue their dreams. They're probably gonna make it. He said, and they will run roughshod over everybody else because there's so many who are part of the participation trophy generations. Now it's multiple. Because I started to become. We had like eighth place
I
trophies
remember.
when I was a kid.
I remember the year that we were playing Little League and they were giving out trophies. I'm like, wait a minute, they didn't win.
Yeah,
It's like that. No,
Yeah.
participation trophy. You know what you get for participation? A pizza party. That's what you get.
right.
We're gonna stop and give you a pizza party. Thanks for being on.
Johnny should be waving his first place medal in your face.
Right. But that's. Listen, I'm not the president. I can't make those decisions. But if I was, number one, first thing I would do, Presidential Fitness Award would be coming back.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, nothing separated the men from the boys when I was in school like that. And I never got it because I couldn't stretch. I killed everything else.
Yeah. I never got it.
What part of stretching? Like, I couldn't stretch the way they wanted me to, so I didn't get it. I could kill it on everything.
But so it's. I think it would be a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of kids nowadays. Too many of them. They can't see their toes, much less touch them.
Hello.
Because diabetes is. It's all the stuff is here. now.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Now we could go deep down the rabbit hole of the tobacco companies that have bought the food companies that are basically taking the food and making it addictive. And that which in turn helps the pharmaceutical companies and helps reduce human population. I mean, you could go
Are
really.
you saying that
You could.
this is a conspiracy?
It's not. it is a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory.
It's
an
a
actual
conspiracy.
conspiracy amongst those companies.
But there's nothing funny about that.
Oh, no.
Except for the saying, like a fat kid in dodgeball, I'm out of here. And that's true now,
Right.
right?
It's very true.
So,
Here-
yeah, those are the things. Go ahead. The next.
Talk about kids and sports. This is kids and sports in the summer. This is a good one. Have you seen this one?
No.
Man, I've seen some.
Sweaty.
Where? What?
I'm sweaty.
Where at?
On my butt crack and my balls and everywhere.
Oh, butt crack in your balls.
I love Southern kids, man.
And the mom is like, oh gosh.
But she's the one who's like, yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna break the internet.
Yep. And it did, right?
And it did. Oh,
Yeah,
that kid broke the internet, man.
That Southern drawl.
I love Southern kids. They're great.
Yeah.
I got one more here. There's another thing. You want to talk about teaching youngins, all the Southern
Look at his
dads,
boots.
it's not just Southern dads, but
He's got his belt and
all
his
those-
boots on. Yeah.
all the outdoor dads, like that's something that's gone away with the kids too. I was talking to my father-in-law before he passed, and I was very close to him, and he took me to his secret deer hunting spot, that sort of thing, and it was, it's an amazing place that we'd go. Anyway, he talked about how the roads used to be lined with deer hunters, and it was like a family ordeal to go out and hunt. When fall came around, that's what you were going to do.
Yeah, dude.
And there'd be trucks lining the road all along the place. You drive out that same place now, you see maybe 3 or 4 trucks, like nobody's hunting. People don't know how to survive or make it on their own. And that father-son relationship that's a great way if you have the capacity to do it. And it doesn't take a whole lot to get out and do that with your kid. But
I'll tell you, I can send you a picture.
we're gonna have deer population problems if we aren't careful. But this is a funny one. Here, watch this.
Come on, dear. Here's you some corn.
Here you some corn.
Get with more corn so we can shoot you.
That'll win him. That'll win him over. So we can shoot. You're
So,
not.
come on, deer. Here's some corn so we can shoot you.
Don't say shoot.
Get the kid. Oh yeah. Just
Oh,
get these youngsters outside and let them get their hands dirty and get some calluses, and it's, I don't know. I hate seeing it go away, but these are the kids. Basically, these are the kids that are going to be the future of our country. They know what it is to sit in a tree stand when it's 10 degrees outside, or they know what it's like to get out to actually touch grass and be outside and not always on. They're playing sports. They're doing all these, roughneck kind of things. And like that farmer kid, they're learning life skills.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. I just sent you a picture of my boys.
did you text it to me?
Yeah. Which I know you've got a lot going on, juggling around. But,
Oh, no, it's fine.
but yeah,
Yeah.
that's us. And right now, the 6-year-old
You want me
has.
to pull that one up?
Yeah, go for it if you can get it in there.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
First of all, it was freezing. But yeah, that's them. We
That's
went
a
out.
memory right there, man.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
take them out. They always want to go. They last. I'm gonna say the 6-year-old. I can get like 15 minutes out of him
Right.
in complete silence. And I've told him if you see a deer, you got to move your head really slow. And so we practice all that, and
Yeah.
and then it's like, Dad, yeah, it's like he's 6, so
Right.
So anyway, but yeah, it's important. Those are great bonding moments that they'll never forget. You will, truthfully, like that's why I take pictures so I can remember this stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I took
Yeah.
him out. It was great,
Yeah.
because it seems like for me, there's so much going on all the time in my head
Yeah.
that and it's crammed with useless stuff mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, stuff that's like, totally useless. In fact, the other day, I caught myself. I was making spaghetti, and I filled the big pot up, and then I turned the water on and walk away. I don't know, was it a half hour? I don't know. I could have filled a swimming pool, and come back in the kitchen, and it's like, oh, that's right,
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
That's me. That's
Yeah.
me. So those are the moments you sit back and go as a dad or a mom. You're just like, okay, there's too much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why tonight we're going to recommend the Pause app by John Eldridge. He's got an app out that teaches you to pause. It's important to do. Like throughout the day, pause, stop. I don't have the app. My wife has talked about it for me for 6 months. I still don't have it. But those are the moments that I'm like, I think I need to explore that because I can't, it's constant, never stops, you know? So anyway, yeah, those are some great memes. And the importance of fatherhood and being a present dad
Yeah.
can't be understated.
Right.
So yeah, what else do we got? Olympics. If we're done, we're done. But
Yeah. As far as the funny stuff, I mean, now here is a political ad.
okay.
It was, well, I'll play this one. What time is it? Oh, it's 10:08.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
got a late start because of my, footballness.
Right. That was just you being a good dad.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Uh, it's gotten. Oh, let's see. All right, no, I'm gonna have to show this. I'll start it playing. This is this guy. Is genius. The guy who made this commercial. He is a black man running for
Congress.
Congress.
Okay, Jerome Davison
Jerome Davidson.
for Congress.
Crazy. Okay, so don't be shocked when you see this.
Okay.
But
Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense. That no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods, you just might need that semi-automatic and 30 rounds.
A dozen angry Democrats in Klan.
it's like I saw it, and I didn't know what to think when I first saw it. I was like, "Oh no, what is it? Where's this commercial going?"
It's fantastic.
That guy standing there with
Fantastic.
his shades and his AR,
Yeah, because it's funny.
and it's true. Yeah,
I mean that is the Democratic Party.
that was the Democratic Party.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh yeah,
So good.
yeah. That was a great one.
What a great ad.
It's so clever. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like he can get away with that. Other people wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, this is
But last one for the memes.
I did see this one.
Yeah, this one was actually Franklin Graham that posted this one.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's who actually posted it.
Because in the backstory is, they can't even. White dudes for Kamala, first of all.
Oh goodness gracious!
Number one, let's go ahead and be racist,
Right.
right? Let's recognize our race. It's really important to say that we're white men who support a black woman who's not black. She's half black, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, she's not even that. She's Jamaican and Indian.
okay.
So she considered herself Indian for the longest time.
Yeah,
But-
whatever she is. She's also Baptist. That's where they go, too.
Sure. Okay.
So, okay. So, what they're trying to do, which is humorous, and that this is a great way to end the show because it's funny, that the same people who reported that she's the border czar have changed their tune. They're trying to erase everything about her that was positive at the time. I mean, this was like she's going to be the border czar. She's going to fix it. She's going to go down and fix it, and then it never happened. So now they have to go. She was never the border czar,
Yeah.
right? And all the things that she said about different penalties for trans people, they shouldn't go to jail,
Right.
right? And the trans people, if you want to have a procedure and become a woman in jail, we should pay for that. All the things that you're like, no, I don't agree with that. So now they're playing this game of backpedaling and trying to either twist what she said into something that's a little more palatable, or even better, is to say she never said that at all.
Just lie.
Just out and out. I mean, bold-faced.
Yeah.
Because if they're saying, if CNN is saying that she never said that, well, she never said that then.
Right.
Even though there's audio, well, that's a deep fake. No, I'm pretty sure in 2016 they didn't have that.
I mean, that should just be a warning sign to to all of us. How far this isn't about the truth. This is simply about maintaining power and
power.
control. It's
Yep.
power, control, influence, and some other nefarious stuff, which we won't go down that rabbit hole because we're at the end of the
And
show.
you know what? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe she'd be great. Who knows?
I was like, I don't think he's serious.
Yeah.
No, she would be a disaster. We've played the "Unburdened by What Has Been" video.
Yeah.
I think we might have played it a couple of times.
And if you haven't, I mean, if and most of our audience, obviously, you all know the game. You all know what's going on. You all know all the things that she has said that they're backpedaling on. We're not going to tell you anything new. Most of you are probably better educated than we are.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate you tuning in and wasting your time listening to us. But it is incredibly, number one, what do they think of the American people,
Very little.
right?
Very little. Yeah.
Like, doesn't this make people angry? I don't hear anybody angry. Well, white dudes are for Kamala. Wait, what?
It is. She was the most unpopular presidential candidate. I mean, she never polled above 1%.
Right.
And she never had a single vote.
Well,
cast
now all of a
for
sudden,
her.
though, look at her.
Right. She's the most unpopular vice president. Nobody liked her. Nobody can relate to her.
She has had since 11 interviews. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that number, but
I mean,
but all I know is on a dime, the Democrat Party chose someone, injected someone that no one voted for. Nobody voted for her. People were voting for Joe Biden, right? In the
Absolutely.
2020 election.
Yep.
They said, well, it's going to be her. Y'all don't get a choice. And you got to, and then like that, everybody just said, okay, fine, I'll vote for her. I don't care that, and I got in a couple of Twitter battles with people, Twitter battles, I guess you call them, with people. And one, I was talking to somebody on my podcast, and just in the comment section, I said, you really don't mind that they just told you this is who it's going to be? And they say, well, she's the vice president. I'm like, yeah, but Joe Biden is still the president. They didn't just make her the president. Joe Biden didn't drop out of the presidency. He dropped out of the race. There's a democratic process. I don't want Democrats to not get a choice. I don't think it's right for a party to throw that on people.
Who are they going to choose? I mean, Gavin Newsom.
Well, the only reason they are going with Kamala is because they can run, when Trump makes comments, they can say he's a racist and that he's sexist.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that they threw her in.
And it's funny because they're already starting this machine up, right? Like
Yeah,
I got into it, not into it, but I commented on somebody an old friend, a dear friend, and I love her to death. She's great. We went to college together. But she posted, be careful what you say about Kamala, in front of your daughters. Like, okay. So, it was one of those. And so I had to chime in. I was like, so are we not allowed to speak the truth in front of our kids about people just because she's blackish and a woman?
Yeah. That in intersectional politics, that bestows a certain level of immunity on someone.
Yeah, and this is why
that's not right. You're immune from criticism.
We
have to be able to criticize.
We just go back. JD Vance is great. By the way, he's great. But let's spin back if we can to the episode where I said Candace Owens would have been a great running mate for Trump, because then it's like, no, I've actually got an educated, smart black woman who's black and who's a woman. Mm-hmm. Who's never stolen anybody's husband. I mean, this is the other half you forget about, right? Mm-hmm. All these suburban women.
Oh yeah.
Right? She's a homewrecker. Well, no, that was his fault. No.
Wait, which one are you referencing?
I'm talking about Kamala.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, you go back in her history, she's a homewrecker.
With Willie Brown, yeah.
Yeah, she's a homewrecker. Well, now she's married and she has 2 stepkids. Okay, great. But she got where she got because she's a homewrecker. She knew what she was doing and didn't care about the collateral damage.
Yeah. This is why, immutable characteristics they're the least interesting thing about people.
Yeah.
That's the way I've always looked at it, and I will continue to look at it. I don't care how many times people tell me that bestows some immunity or some, because that's the Maoist division, right? Is you have to split people up along immutable characteristics, things that they cannot impact, and say that one is greater than the other, one is worse than the other.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's just divisive. And so no, I'm going to judge you on your character and who you are as a person and what's your track record, and
boom. which is what you're
That's it.
supposed
Which
to
is
do.
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
But no, people
Martin Luther was dead on.
people want to be the firsts too. There's a lot of people that say, "Well, it's going to be the first." We had the first black president, right? And people voted for him twice. A lot of people voted for him twice,
It's hard to believe in such a racist nation.
and he did a terrible job.
He did.
He started.
Be careful because that's racist.
He started the division and the destruction of our society.
I mean, you think about it. You know, in a racist country, which is what we are, they're claiming, right? We elected a black president twice.
Yeah. So it's just
It's a game.
yeah, it's just a game to them.
It's a game.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And they're playing a dangerous game with the most powerful country in the world. And you know, I've listened to several folks, and they were talking about how this is, you know, we obviously know this is Marxist and it's intentional and it's to keep us, but it's not just societally keeping us divided, but it's, you know, economically, financially keeping us down. That's the real. The theory is that's the real reason that they keep printing more money.
The serfdom.
Yeah, you can't, come on. If the economy's booming and we're, you know, not printing more money, then people will start to make their way into, no, we got to keep it the way it is. This is how it is.
Status quo. It's got to be this way because
got to be this way.
we can't include anybody else into our upper circle.
Too successful of a society generates too much wealth for middle class people who might be able to make it into that top rung. It's crowded up here. There's no vacancy.
Yeah.
So we got to do what we can to keep
Especially when you make it up there and you disagree.
But you know who's going to make it up there? That little farmer boy.
You better believe he is. He's going to auction off that 71 tractor.
He's going to
in 10 years.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll make it up there, but boy, he'll outwork everybody around him.
Yeah, he will. And you know, it's true. Was it Joe Rogan who said it about kids and work ethic?
Yeah.
That if we instill that work ethic now, your sons, your daughters are not going to be sitting on the couch playing video games, or by that time walking around with the glasses on.
Oh yeah, they won't be pod people,
right? They're not going to be pod people. They're going to be out there working with their hands, doing stuff, making a good living.
Or they'll be the resistance,
or the resistance.
Teach them all.
Yeah, but I mean, so you think about it though. That's just true. The work ethic that we instill in our kids is so incredibly important, and I think this too, that if we're doing that and pod people are out there, right? Yeah. Well, number one, we already know that the trade industry is shot.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, like I'm thinking for my boys, you know, college is great. Trade school is greater.
Yes.
Because you're going to get out and make more money. It's actually approaching now like an electrician is a doctor in money. Like salary wise.
Oh yeah.
Like you
can get some of these jobs welding. If you become a good welder and you were willing to travel, you can make killer money.
Hundreds of thousands
a year.
Yeah. In fact, in Colorado, I loved it. Maybe we've talked about this. And I don't know if you're a pipe fitter or a welder that travels and you're listening. Can you explain to me the games that you guys play with your trucks? Because it is like, I want to see how much I can fit on my flatbed that resembles home. I mean, I saw one with a fridge. It had a swing out flat screen TV in the back and a big welder on it. And these trucks are big. They're like the Ram 3500s, you know, jacked up dualies, diesels, big trucks, Ford F350s and up. And these guys haul around stuff, and it's like, it is, and I'm not kidding, it's almost like a competition to see who's got the biggest, baddest rig in the welding industry.
Wow.
That would be a fascinating show.
That would be.
I would watch that because these guys have all the comforts of home. Yeah. I mean, one guy had like a Blackstone, you know.
Griddle.
Oh, they had the whole thing. Because you go out in the field, you're out there.
Yeah.
So it's all the comforts of home on your flatbed. Oh, it's so cool. Now I want to start shopping for a flatbed. And this is why I leave the water running till the pot overflows, because I'm thinking all I'm thinking about is like, okay, flatbed with dualies, that'd be really cool. And you get the spokes that come out on the front.
Yeah.
You know, the
lugs you're talking about?
Yeah, on Grease. You know how on the movie Grease they had the one car had that big spiky thing, and I don't
remember that.
The lugs, but they got to they got to come out about 6 inches and be spiky. you know, or use old 50 cal shells
Right.
for lug. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Oh man.
Hey, if you've tuned in till 10:22, we really appreciate you. And as always, I want to say, keep your eyes to the skies. I do believe, and I said it at the outset of the show, that we live in a time where it is just a matter of time. I sound like Kamala a little bit there. We live in a time where it's just a matter of time, because time is all we have until we don't. And that time is coming when we don't have time. That was pretty good off the get,
That was
right?
pretty good.
It's spot on.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. So that time's coming where we don't have time. Time's running out because our King is returning. Keep your eyes to the skies. As always, we are braver than the rest. If you have questions, things you want us to discuss, things, you know, really at this point, dad jokes that you want us to tell, go ahead and email us at thebraverthantherest@gmail.com. Again, it's thebraverthantherest@gmail.com. And let us know what you thought about tonight's show. Sometimes taking a little bit of a break from the doom and gloom is healthy, not only for you, but for us as well, because we spiral quickly. And when it's all you look at and all you read every day, it really becomes a little overwhelming with the condition of the world. So it was great reprieve tonight. Good job to my brother Jared finding stuff for us to talk about and all the
In the madness of the internet, we found some good stuff to laugh about.
Let's watch to head out. Let's go ahead and watch Tractor Boy one more time because this is who we need to be raising.
That's a good one. Oh, where'd he go? There he is. Let me pull that one down. Oh, gotta rewind it.
Man of the hour.
Yep.
So nice to finally meet you.
Yep. Come to the state of Indiana.
Oh, I already see some deer over there.
We're all John Deere around here, but everything's down the shop. So
Wow.
I own that one, that one, that one.
You gotta be the luckiest kid in Indiana.
You can choose. Which one do you want to start on?
Well, which one's your favorite? That might be a dumb question. I think you know everything about all of them.
So this is a 1970 John Deere 112.
And you're the one that bought it, right? Back then?
Yep, $35 for the
Oh
turn.
my gosh.
I call this tractor the best $35 I ever spent. Tires ain't cheap anymore. Like nothing's cheap anymore. Not even water's free, which is, you may as well go back and get it in the back creek.
He learned that from his dad.
I like a clean property, and I like seeing it clean, and I like a mowed yard. So that's kind of I like having a mowed yard, weed whacked, nice landscaping, and a nice tractor. And with this tractor, you got to sometimes, just to get the lights to go, you sometimes have to bang the front light, the front light cover to get it to go.
You know, percussive maintenance, I think that's something that I can do.
Gosh, I love it.
I do too.
Love it. Thanks for tuning in tonight. God bless you all.